After a grueling 12-hour shift, I trudged up my rain-soaked driveway, expecting the quiet comfort of home. Instead, I found 3 kids I'd never seen before, turning my hot tub into their personal splash zone, hurling chicken nuggets like it was some fast food-themed water park. One, a boy with a pool noodle slung around his neck like a boa, bellowed, "I'm Lord of the Seas," while, God help me, peeing into the jets. The other 2 were locked in a screaming match over who got to dunk a Barbie doll first. I stood there, drenched, staring not at the chaos, but at their mother, Linda, perched on my patio chair like she owned the place. Middle-aged, smug, arms crossed. She smirked as if she'd just won a spa getaway. "Linda," I said, the name dripping with irony I couldn't ignore. "What the hell is going on?" She waved a hand dismissively. "Oh, they're just playing. They've had a tough week. This is good for them." Tough week. One kid was licking a soggy Oreo off the tub's edge. I'm not one for confrontation. My usual MO is to let HOA tyrants like Linda talk themselves into a corner while I quietly build a case for the next board meeting. But this was war. Not just because her gremlins were trespassing and wrecking my water's pH balance, but because Linda was the HOA vice president. For 6 months, she'd been waging a petty crusade against me, nitpicking everything from my driveway sealant to the angle of my mailbox. I took a deep breath, rain dripping from my hood. "Linda, you're trespassing, and this is dangerous. There's electrical wiring under that deck." She plucked a grape from a Tupperware, unfazed. "Don't be dramatic. It's just water and bubbles. Be a good neighbor." That phrase, her favorite weapon, had justified her dogs crapping on my lawn and her son's midnight drum solos. Now it was her excuse to let her kids commandeer my hot tub, the one I'd spent 2 weekends leveling and cursing in broken check to install. I didn't argue. I turned, walked inside, and locked the door. But in my head, something snapped. Not rage, but something colder, sharper. Linda wanted bubbles. I'd give her a boiling nightmare. The next morning, I filed an HOA complaint with timestamped security footage. Predictably, it went nowhere. Linda's best friend, Susan, the HOA president, sent a sanctimonious email about sharing amenities for community spirit. Amenities. My private, locked hot tub wasn't a damn community pool. That afternoon, Linda posted on the HOA Facebook page, thanking a generous neighbor for her boys' spa experience. A follower suggested making it a weekly event. That's when I decided the hot tub had to evolve. I called my cousin Mike, an aquarium supply guru who once shipped a squid to Arizona. "How hard is it to turn a hot tub into a lobster tank?" I asked. He paused, then grinned. "Spiky ones. Lobsters. The spikiest." Over 10 days, while Linda and her spawn were off on a vacation, judging by her insufferable Serenity Vibes Instagram posts, I transformed the tub. I drained it, rerouted the plumbing, installed chillers, a filtration system, and a custom lock cover. Then I introduced 35 feisty Maine lobsters, fed on clams and my simmering grudge. Their antennae swayed like tiny warriors in a salty kingdom, complete with caves and a fake shipwreck. A motion sensor triggered a light show if anyone tampered with the lid. When Linda returned and tried to pry it open with a spatula, my cameras caught her 3-minute struggle before she stormed off, kids in tow. I watched the footage with popcorn. A day later, a handwritten note appeared on my door. "Hi neighbor, your spa's broken. We miss our water therapy. Let us know when it's fixed. Linda." I ignored it. She escalated, filing an HOA complaint about neglected aesthetics and mosquito risks. I countered with a full environmental report, filter specs, salinity levels, and a state regulation clause protecting my licensed aquatic enclosure. She tried playing dumb, cornering me on the sidewalk with a syrupy smile. "Did you change something with the hot tub?" New cover. I smiled back. It's not a hot tub anymore. It's a lobster tank. She laughed, thinking I was joking. Lobsters. Real ones. Her Botox froze mid-smirk. Why? Protein, I deadpanned. She blinked, unsure if I was unhinged or brilliant. Her kids tested me next, sneaking back with a stick to poke the cover. My new alarm, a piercing screech and flashing lights, sent them screaming. Authorized personnel only. Linda lost it, firing off a complaint laced with fake legalese, accusing me of weaponizing crustaceans to traumatize minors. I framed it in my garage next to my "World's Most Patient Neighbor" mug. Her next move was social sabotage. Rumors spread, I was running an illegal seafood ring, my yard smelled, it didn't. The HOA newsletter hinted at non-conforming backyard modifications. Citations piled up, dandelions, stone edging, even a flagpole angled improperly. I adjusted the flagpole by 3 degrees, painted my edging lobster red, and mowed my lawn in laser-straight stripes. I added a sign, "Lobsters at peace. Do not disturb." Linda's face when she saw it was a masterpiece of suppressed fury. Then animal control showed up, confused about an aquatic cruelty complaint in a cul-de-sac. I gave them a tour, pH sensors, feeding logs. One officer took a selfie for his lobster-loving girlfriend. Linda, spying from her window, yanked her blinds shut like a cartoon villain. She didn't retreat. She threw a block party, bounce house, DJ, cotton candy machine plugged into my outlet. Kids bounced dangerously close to my tank, one tossing a marshmallow at the cover. I handed it back, saying, "Careful, buddy. Those animals might chase you." He fled, screaming. Linda stormed over, wine glass in hand. "You threatened a child." "I educated him," I replied. That night, her party raged until midnight, leaving popcorn grease and silly string on my tank cover. "Lobster loser" was chalked on my mailbox. I filed a noise complaint, sent drone footage of the bounce house on my land, and had the power company lock my outlet. Then, I invited a food writer to tour my tank for a sustainability piece. It hit the HOA newsletter's front page, "Neighborhood Innovation, Marine Life Meets Modern Living." Linda's one-sentence email arrived, "You're sick." The neighborhood group chat erupted when an unapproved interview snippet leaked, joking about a lobster boil pop-up if the HOA kept harassing me. Linda forwarded 6 emails, including a Word doc with a red X'd lobster photo, ranting about black market seafood. I sent everything to my lawyer, who replied, "She's bluffing and insane." But Linda pulled strings I didn't see coming. A county health inspection hit, with 2 windbreaker-clad officials spouting nonsense about unregistered animal containment zones. I handed them permits, walked them through the setup, and watched them leave empty-handed. But it was clear Linda had county connections. She was playing for keeps. I didn't flinch. I compiled receipts, HOA transcripts, and a damning memo where Linda and Susan funneled community garden funds into her patio remodel. I called an emergency HOA meeting, armed with 6 neighbor signatures and a dry erase board titled, "How We Got Here." I laid it out, the trespassing, the sabotage, the fake citations, the county stunt. I played a voicemail of Linda calling me an aquatic narcissist. The room laughed. I showed the funding memo. "Is this transparent spending?" I asked. Silence. Susan paled. Linda trembled, shouting, "You're letting a lobster lunatic manipulate you." Someone yelled, "Better than a petty dictator." The vote to suspend her board privileges passed 7-2. Susan voted yes. Linda stormed out. 2 days later, tire tracks scarred my lawn. Solar lights smashed. Then a zoning complaint called my tank a non-permitted recreational edifice. I buried them in paperwork, permits, a biologist's sign-off, even a professor's endorsement of my educational microhabitat. Linda's whisper campaign intensified, flyers calling me a safety risk, freak farm, keyed into my trash can, a drone buzzing my yard. She even got a clickbait site to run, cul-de-sac crustacean crisis, with a blurry tank photo and quotes about clawed monsters. The HOA poll asking if marine life should be regulated was a circus. What the hell is happening? The zoning inspection came. Linda sat across my property line in a reflective vest, clutching a clipboard. I presented my case. The inspectors cleared me in 45 minutes. Linda hissed at them, "You're letting him turn his yard into a lobster zoo." They ignored her. That night, my tank's lock was smashed, water spilled, 3 lobsters stolen. The footage showed a masked figure, but I knew. I filed a police report, added new locks, and waited. Days later, my silent alarm pinged. I caught a hooded figure with bolt cutters on camera, chased them barefoot, recording. They fled over the fence. I had the shot. I posted the footage online, narrated calmly, when a peaceful aquaculture project becomes a target, a quiet street turns into a battleground. It hit 30,000 views in a day. Then a tip came to the police, check Linda's garage. They found 2 stolen lobsters alive in a cooler, my broken filter, and an HOA memo with her notes. She was arrested for trespassing, theft, and property damage. The HOA turned on her. Complaints flooded in, harassment, vote rigging, embezzlement. Susan resigned. I was elected interim president despite trying to say no. My first act, a bylaw allowing licensed aquaculture. Then I hosted Lobsters and Lemonade with snacks, a marine biologist, and a lobster plushie raffle. Neighbors laughed, kids asked questions. An old man marveled at the tank. Linda drove by, staring from her SUV, small and bitter. The lobsters thrived, including the rescued 3, named after the officers who booked her. I learned something: don't fight entitlement with fire. Fill your hot tub with lobsters and let nature handle the rest.